gentlemen, you are watching a World Heavyweight Championship match in progress at this time. Hacksaw Butch Reed, the challenger in the aquamarine trunks, going up against the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in the light blue trunks. This is a World Heavyweight Championship match. Briscoe with me here at ringside as we're watching the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in a title defense against Hacksaw Butch Reed. And it's Flair making it over to the ring ropes and forcing the break on this one. And may I just say, Jerry, at this particular point in this match, with about 14 minutes or less remaining, that Reed has certainly been acquitting himself extremely well against the champion. But I would have to say the champion is perhaps just slightly out front.
Well, Ric Flair, the World Heavyweight Champion, Gordon, is very experienced. He is the world champion, but this Butch Reed, Hacksaw Reed, is coming on, like you say. He's been carrying the match to Ric Flair, the champion, but Flair has now got that burst of energy. He's starting to show his experience. He's starting to show that force that's made him the world's heavyweight champion, and he is coming on.
Reed dropped to the canvas once again, and it is Ric Flair with a snap mare takes Reed back to the canvas. Now goes into a rear chin lock, and it is Butch Reed trying to escape. Tried to sit out, tried to move away from his man, turns into his man. Butch Reed continues to move on his man, spinning and turning now as it is Ric Flair upended by the challenger of Bruce Reed. Hacksaw Reed upends the challenger. And so Hacksaw Reed has burning within him that intense desire. What an opportunity for this young athlete. He's out of Central Missouri College. He was an All-American there, wrestled throughout his high school and college career, was All-American, and of course went on with the Kansas City Chiefs and has returned to his primary love, and that of course one-on-one competition. And that one-on-one competition being rewarded at this moment with a chance against the World Heavyweight Champion. High waist lift takedown by the champion, Ric Flair. Flair trying to keep a ride going, and Reed again slips away. And Reed is certainly proving himself to be an outstanding counter and defensive wrestler, Jerry.
Well, you can certainly tell that Butch Reed has done plenty of studying on Ric Flair's style. A beautiful waist lift takedown, as you said, Gordon. Hacksaw Reed immediately hit. He hit for the long setouts, a series of setouts. You continue those setouts. You notice Butch Reed never stopped his momentum. He never stopped his motion, and it worked for him. Once you get into that position where you're underneath, you've got to keep moving at all times.
Reed exploding on the side of the jaw of the champion, Ric Flair, and now Hacksaw Reed moving very effectively, and Reed throwing away the rule book here temporarily, drops the champion. Ric Flair, the World Heavyweight Champion, coming up very slowly now as Reed. There's where the experience, there's where the time in the ring and the number of years is beginning to pay off for the champion. He caught him with a knee coming in, and now Reed hurtled through those center ropes out to the concrete floor outside, coming up a little slowly. And so Flair, there may be a bit here, Jerry, I'm not sure, but there may be a bit of quiet desperation here with Ric Flair.
Well, Ric Flair has reached the point in his career where he's got to go on, and he's got to continue with that championship belt. He's got to prove his force inside the ring. Ric Flair has become a dominant factor in the world of professional wrestling with the championship. Here you see a beautiful, beautiful vertical suplex brings Hacksaw Reed right down on his back, and it shakes him up.
And it is the champion now, crashing down across him, catching him under the chin, across the throat, and high on those pectoralis majors. Reed powers out again. And so Reed, who has taken some severe blows here, including that vertical suplex, now taking a lot of punishment from the world. And Reed firing back. Reed standing up to the test now. And it is Reed who crocks the champion again. And so Ric Flair, NWA World Heavyweight Champion, in some dire trouble here. And it is the champion champion down, and it is a Reed closing in once again into a lateral press.
Gordon, here we're seeing two of the top, maybe the 2,500 or so professional wrestlers and throughout the entire world. We're seeing the number one being Ric Flair and probably the number two wrestler in the entire world right here on Championship Wrestling. This is a match that all promoters throughout the country, Japan, Mexico, Puerto Rico, all over, has bid for. Championship Wrestling has had the honor to come up with the funds to secure Ric Flair and also Hacksaw Reed, and it is an honor to watch these two men perform.
It is indeed, and it is Butch Reed now, Hacksaw Reed, having his problems as Ric Flair has gone back in time and is now pulling everything that he has available to him now. He does not take any opponent lightly. He has certainly not taken Hacksaw Reed lightly, but it is Hacksaw Reed who has been carrying the battle to him, although Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, appears to be out front at this particular time. We'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment. Back in action once again in a fine series of drop kicks by Hacksaw Reed. And during that time that we were away, there were no pinfalls or submissions. But the battle, Reed has now decided to go to the air. However, he's caught there, a headbutt into the midsection. And it has to be both of these men, with the amount of time remaining in this match, both men are really beginning to feel the effects of it now. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship, in case you've tuned in late, this is a world title match. Ric Flair in the light blue trunks against Hacksaw Reed in the aquamarine trunks. The World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Beautiful move by Reed. Reed's got him up. Oh, slam by Hacksaw. Butch Reed has the champion in a lot of trouble here. And there is the mark of the champion, Jerry. He was pressed well above the head of Butch Reed, thrown to the canvas, and yet managed to come out before that 3 count.
Well, throughout this match here, you see the tremendous body strength of Hacksaw Reed, lifting him well above his head and bringing him down for one of the powerful slams. But throughout the match, the world champion has been trying to take away Butch Reed's strong point, and it's in the air. He's been keeping him in those percussion moves where he's slamming him to the mat. Here, he was using his head. He saw Hacksaw Reed coming off the ropes to drop a knee drop. He was able to use his head and roll out of the way.
And it is, as you can see now, this match taking its toll on both men. A chop across the throat of Hacksaw Reed by the champion, Ric Flair. Flair, a man who had everything coming into this world. Extremely wealthy parents, his choice of schools, private education throughout his entire academic career. Then on to the University of Minnesota, where he was an all-state wrestler, also an outstanding football player for the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Has followed, and now for the past 8 years has been on that championship trail, having now acquired the World Heavyweight Championship, and all on the line right here. And what a battle we're seeing between these two men of Hacksaw Reed and the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair, and desperation beginning to show in Flair's face now as Reed begins to close in on him. And Jerry, we could very well, I would have to say, see an upset in the making, but certainly Reed, that adrenaline is flowing, and this man is really moving effectively.
Well, I know Butch Reed has been just training very, very diligently for this match. It's all that's been on his mind the last week. He has been pushing himself beyond the limits. He and Sweet Brown Sugar have been training just night and day, and it's all that's been on his mind. You've got to live, eat, and breathe this when you become a world champion, or even get in a position to be in the ring with the world champion. You cannot have anything else on your mind, and Butch Reed has showed this. A beautiful counter move here, Gordon.
Good counter, and it is Reed getting the vertical souffle on the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. 5 minutes remaining in this match. Only 5 minutes remaining. He's got a foot on the ring rope, as you can see to the right of your screen. Flair managed to get his foot up, and it is Reed seizing that opportunity. And Reed, I can't help but feel, Jerry, is if it has to bend the rules, I think the intensity that we're seeing here, if he has to bend the rules to win this title, he's going to do it.
Well, you know, that's the very important part of the philosophy of wrestling. You've got to know your rules. You've got to know how far you can go with somebody. You've got to know your position. You've got to count a 5. You can take it up until that count. And, boy, when it gets down to a World Championship title match, you've got to go that extra little bit to win. And this is what we're seeing Bruce Reed do at this point, and he is really coming on.
Ric Flair now catches him with a chop across the throat. Rick got him now, a forearm across the side of the jaw, back of the ear. And it is Reed back on the canvas once again. Now as the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair moves in on his man, sets him for a salto. Well executed. Reed came down partially on that shoulder, and that could spell some problems for Hacksaw Reed. And Reed is coming up considerably slower than he has been moving throughout the earlier moments of this match. Good move by Reed, and a rolling reverse. Again, the experience of the champion paid off for Ric Flair.
Reed was thinking ahead, though. That's one thing. He's beginning to regain his composure right now, Gordon. He's starting to come back a little bit. But Ric Flair, being the champ that he is, he knows he has Reed down. He's going to start really laying it into him. Because when you have somebody on a run, you keep them running. And Ric Flair, a world champion, but he got a little confident, lost it. Oh.
3 minutes remaining.
That title is so close and yet so far. The count of 3. Double underhook. Beautiful, deep double underhook into a suplex by Reed. Lateral press, and again, Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, is able to power on. And again, Reed coming off those ropes. The champion rolls away from it. And Reed is pulling out all stops here, but the champion, equal to the task, is meeting him head on, and once again, looks like he tried to send for a pile driver. Counter move by Reed that was effective. As the champion down once again, and look at the face, look at the intensity that was running across the face of Hacksaw Reed. And Jerry, as a competitor, as a man who won the World Junior Heavyweight Championship, it would be you or only people like you who could really...
2 minutes remaining, 2 minutes.
Upended over that top rope, and the count is on. And Reed, one arm, one leg rather, through those ropes, and the champion brings him back in, and the champion going for the figure 4. Has that rather unusual application of the figure 4, trying to cinch down on it, and Reed obviously straining that right leg, trying to block him from getting the position, and he has thus far breaks it up. Great counter by Hacksaw Reed.
30 seconds remaining.
Beautiful counter.
Strength of Ric Flair. He's back on that leg, trying to go for that figure 4. As you see, he goes from the opposite direction. But Butch Reed has studied this. You see him sticking that leg out. He's blocking it with a stiff leg there. He has worked on this move night and day, Gordon. He knew it was coming, and he blocked.
5 seconds.
And once again, the two of them now in a slugfest here. Both men swinging hard right hands, and neither man. The bell has rung. The bell has rung. Neither man able to gain a pinfall or a submission hold in this one-fall World Heavyweight Championship match. And so the match is indeed a draw. But what a magnificent opportunity for Hacksaw Reed. Hacksaw Reed, who is looking very, very strong in the closing moments of this match.
In your opinion only, now, I'm the world champion on the title to special request. I don't want my record blemished by him or anybody else down here or anywhere else, period. I want 5 more minutes. I'm the world champion. I'm calling 5 more minutes. That's it.
Well, I can't call 5 more minutes. That would be entirely up to the referee, and it would be entirely up to Butch Reed himself. So I can't do that, Mr. Flair. You'd have to check with the referee on that if you don't mind.
Hey, 5 more minutes.
All right. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see another 5 minutes here, but... all right. He is saying that to the referee. Reed is rolling back in the ring.
Oh.
Well, this is an unprecedented situation. Ooh, the vanity of the champion, the ego of the champion has really been marred. It has really been marred, and he is a totally irate individual. But Reed coming into this match now into a 5-minute overtime.
It's a whole new ball game here, Gordon. Anything goes in this. An extra 5 minutes. Butch Reed, Hacksaw Reed, is dying for this opportunity.
It amazes me the champion. Ooh. Well, maybe now we know why the champion wanted that extra 5 minutes. He obviously felt tremendously embarrassed that it was a draw match, and now the champion Ric Flair doing everything he can to avenge that. And those seconds keep ticking by. And if Reed can hold him for another 5 minutes, it certainly has to put him way, way, way up in the rankings.
Well, it certainly would, and he's already way up there, or he wouldn't have the opportunity for this match. But Butch Reed, he got a dream come true. But what humiliation. Ric Flair reaches down and backhands him across the face.
The only thing I can figure here is that Flair must have felt a weakening in Reed. He must have felt maybe that Reed, perhaps the partial application of that figure 4 to his leg on 2 different occasions, that maybe this has done it, maybe the percussion blows, but he must feel very, very confident that in this 5 minutes he's going to be able to put Mr. Reed's shoulders through the canvas. Beautiful cross body block by Butch Reed. He got it! He got it! He beat him! He beat the world champion! Butch Reed has just defeated Ric Flair! Butch Reed has just defeated the world champion Ric Flair! What? There's Sweet Brown Sugar in there congratulating Great! Tremendous! Now here comes Terry Allen. Butch Reed has indeed, and you can hear the crowd here at the Sportatorium going absolutely insane as Butch Reed has just defeated NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. We'll be right back.
The contract's right here. It reads 30 minutes, not 35 minutes. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm sorry to disappoint Florida. And Reed, most of all, I'm real sorry to have to disappoint you. The contract signed by Bruce Reed, signed by Ric Flair, notarized by Florida Championship Wrestling, says 30 minutes.
Well,
That's it.
admittedly, it was an overtime situation, and that overtime, the match did end in a draw. The official match ended in a draw, so
It ended in a draw with me pounding it through the mat. Now you know and I know that ever since I came to the great state of Florida, and I'm the first one to admit, the competition down here is as keen and rugged as anywhere in professional wrestling. But still, there can only be one Big Daddy, one cock and a walk. And Gordon Soley, you and Florida know that the man that wears this belt is that which we just discussed. The man! So Bruce Reed, I gotta go to Montreal, I gotta go to Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Dallas. I haven't got time right now to take care of you. But in the meantime, in front of my crew, got to a bank in the last 5 minutes. I'd have done it. You see this, Gordon Soley? $3,000 right here. You see this? 10 grand right there. You see this? Solid gold. Another $8,000. And this, Reed, it comes right off. It makes no difference. What I've gone, Reed, you're going to think the devil fell out of the ground and haunted you day and night because the bounty's on. Money, and you know it. Money can buy Ric Flair anything you want. And right now, I want your any price. And before I come back to Florida, Reed, I want to read in the paper that you're no longer here. At any cost, I'll write the check. I'll put it in green dollar bills. At any cost, Reed, you're done. Woo!